Sync. If you do not care at all about my personal life, just jump to this time code here. Okay, so you might have noticed that I've not been posting videos recently, and the thing is, I had a pretty heavy fall, silly as it sounds. I fell and my hand broke, and I also had some blood in my eye, and I work in hospitality, and I noticed immediately as soon as I went into work, because I went into work like 10 hours after it happened, and I noticed that people looked at me differently when it's most of my job to just be a bit charismatic, to just, you know, have a bit of a laugh with the customers. And I noticed that I was having a much harder time doing that because everybody was looking at my hand and everyone was looking at my eye. I looked like a thug, basically. And whilst it really shouldn't matter, but because I noticed that people were looking at me differently, I think they were making assumptions about me. I was afraid of advocating for something that I thought was this important when people perceived me that way. And also, when you're a vegan, you have to be like perfect for everybody. And people, if I was to do activism, would see that I had a broken bone, and they would be like, oh yeah, well, I mean, it's because you're not getting enough calcium, as if no non-vegans break their bones ever. So, you know, when you're vegan, you have to be the pinnacle of health all the time, otherwise it's flat out down to your veganism. But yeah, that's why I've not been posting. It's been about a month, which is longer than I ever wanted to go. But I think, you know, that's decent time for my bones to be healing, so my veganism can't be that unhealthy. Okay, so not too long ago I saw a post online about somebody talking about being vegan purely for the health benefits, and it reminded me of when I hear people assume that something is vegan just because it's gluten-free or because it's organic. When I first heard about veganism, I associated it with people who, you know, go to health spas, eat leafy salads, and do yoga. Not that whether or not you do yoga influences whether or not you're vegan. And there's been times that I've been talking to people about it, like at work, and they really don't get what veganism is, and they'll say something like, oh yeah, well that's just your lifestyle, or it's a fad. And I mean, I constantly flip-flop between whether or not I think it's a lifestyle. But it reminded me of how I first saw veganism when I first heard about it. And with time I've come to realise that that version of veganism is just a plant-based lifestyle. Right, so what's the difference? Well, a vegan is somebody who has the understanding that animals are not ours to use. They are not a resource for us to use. They are not inherently here for us to use any more than another human is. Animals are not here to provide us with food, whether that be through eating their bodies, whether that be through eating something they've made, like milk, eggs or honey. Their bodies are not ours to wear, whether that be through wearing their hides as leather, their fur, their wool, or some silk that they've made. They are not ours to exploit for entertainment, whether that be at a zoo, through an aquarium, at a circus, or in a race. And they are not ours to experiment with when they just wish to live peacefully. Veganism is an ethical movement that has victims to speak out for. Now, a plant-based person is somebody who eats predominantly plants. Some people will call themselves plant-based if they eat the occasional organic egg, or grass-fed beef, or the bodies of fish. But I'm not willing to call somebody plant-based if they're still eating animal products. Somebody who is plant-based could still exploit animals in other areas of their life, whether that be through cosmetics, clothing, or entertainment. Because the ethical connection isn't there yet. Because they're just doing it for their health. In short, veganism is about them, whereas a plant-based lifestyle is about you. Not that there's anything wrong with caring about your health, it's just that I think that there are more important things, in my personal opinion. I've heard of some people who lived like a vegan in every area of their life other than their diet, and then they watched a documentary like What the Health, and then now, for all intent and purposes, are a vegan. It's weird to me that you would do it that way around. It's kind of like, this is probably the nerdiest thing I'll ever say in a video, but it's kind of like Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Like, you're doing a good thing, you're on the right side, but for a kind of selfish reason. But I mean, you know, if the end result is positive, then whatever, I guess. I've also heard some plant-based people accuse vegans of making it a purity contest. And I mean, I can only speak for myself, but calling it a purity contest misses the mark. It's not just me sat by myself just patting myself on the back for being vegan. It isn't about being pure, it isn't about me. That's the point. It isn't about some holier-than-thou competition. It's about reducing the victims of our choices by as much as possible. And that's the difference between being vegan and being plant-based. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that one there. If you agreed with me, if you disagreed with me, let me know in the comment section down below the video. If you're more subtle than that, you can give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And yeah, this has been the first Coli video in a while, and I'll talk to you next time.